Good morning, everybody. I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body mind expert and shiatsu massage therapist. What I do, though, is I specialize in helping women who are in narcissistic and toxic relationships really find their voice, stand up for themselves, learn how to walk away, learn how to love and respect themselves again. I help them move forward, whether they're in a relationship now, whether they're healing from it, whether they're considering a divorce, going through divorce on the other side, whatever it may be, there's things underneath the surface that need to be worked with. And that's what I do. I'm not a therapist, but what I am is I'm a body mind expert, which means that you learn how your body works and how to rewire it so that you don't keep feeling victimized and helpless by your own self, by your own body, by your own reactions in your relationship with someone who is narcissistic. Um, Today's topic is about what to do when a narcissist triggers you. So, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, and even if this isn't your first, if you had narcissists in your childhood, if you had past relationships that were like that, even past husbands, you've got a lot of body memories. And these body memories are what trigger you. The memories are actually physical. So every time you have a reaction to something and you feel helpless and you can't process it through and it's unexpected, you create trauma or a body memory. It's your body reacting to something, but then kind of stuck in that loop of fear and anxiety and fight or flight, helplessness. And you can't stop that. When we trigger, when our nervous system and our body is triggered because of a narcissist, you're not going to be able to stop it. All you can do in the first place is learn how to avoid it and how to heal it. So let's say a narcissist is being their normal narcissistic, self-absorbed, emotionally abusive, volatile, gaslighting, manipulative self. Let's say they're just being themselves. And so naturally, you've been suppressing these emotions probably most of your life. The anger and the fear and the helplessness. A lot of trauma happens when we're kids because we can't talk about it. A trauma is something that's unexpected, that you feel you have no control over, and that you're not able to process through. And as a child, when many of these things happen, it's usually unexpected. We don't see it coming. We feel helpless, and we are, because you're small. You are helpless. Your brain isn't developed enough. You can't think clearly enough. It's just not how it works. Um, and many times the feelings, you don't have words for them. There's no words for all of the underlying layers that are going on about how you want someone to stop or how you feel. There's no way to process this actually for many until they're older, unless they get really great support at the time to help them navigate through it. And most people in dysfunctional families, you know, you just didn't get the help you needed. That's just the way that it was. It wasn't part of the dynamic. So now, as an adult, you've got all of these landmines all throughout your body of suppressed memories that you weren't able to process through and that you were helpless to. And a narcissist comes along and behaves as they do, and you will trigger. You won't just trigger from the past experiences a narcissist has given you. You'll trigger from all the experiences that you ever felt helpless and out of control. Now, what happens to most people when they trigger is that you don't know what to do with it. You're flooded immediately. Your body is flooded with fight or flight chemicals. Immediately, you want to punch or run or freeze or cry or break down. It happens without even thinking. There's no control over that. And that's how you feel. When you're in that state, you're actually in a very vulnerable state. You're in a state where you are not in literally your right mind. You're not in your rational mind. And that's what happens when a narcissist triggers too. They aren't in their rational mind. They're coming from a place of fear and anger and hurt and volatility. So typically, a narcissist and someone who also has a lot of narcissistic abuse end up together because they just keep triggering each other over and over and over, trying to figure it out. So if you're feeling helpless, if you're feeling trapped, the first thing you need to do is pause. If it's at all possible, you need to pause. Because when you're triggered, you are not able to really protect yourself because you can't think clearly. Because your brain went from the rational mind that's connected to the heart and the gut and went to the amygdala. And the amygdala makes decisions which are based on fear, which are based on self-preservation at all costs. Now, you know what that's like. You've probably been through this with a narcissist many times before, when you've been triggered and you've gone into fight or flight. And what happens? It doesn't usually go well, because your energy then triggers a narcissist worse, and they don't have the same boundaries that you are. They don't have the same respect that you give to other people. They don't have that. For whatever reason, either their amygdala isn't developed enough, or their brain is fractured in some way, or the trauma is just too overwhelming. Your energy and your reaction and your fear is just going to escalate them. And so, if you don't know what to do when you feel triggered, you need to pause, no matter how you feel, no matter how overwhelmed you feel. And the first chance you get, you need to get some space. And sometimes you create your own space. Sometimes you say, you know what, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom. You don't attack. You take a breather, you take a pause so that you can get out of your reaction in a vulnerable, helpless place when you're in your reaction. And you can get back into the mind that helps you see what's going on and know what to do next. So if you're triggered, you're really not doing yourself any favors, but you can't stop it and you can't help it, because the trigger is a reminder. It's your nervous system. It's your body saying, you know what? I'm terrified. So you find a way to pause. You go to the bathroom, you leave, you go for a walk, you agree until you can get out of there. You breathe until you can get out of there. When you do that, when you get out of the space, either because it naturally opens up or because you find a way to leave, that's when you have to start feeling and being present with and processing your emotion. Since it's trauma, I suggest that you find somebody safe, somebody that you trust, somebody who isn't going to attack you or call you wrong or be judgmental. And there's actually a lot of people out there. There's a lot of women who are in the healing profession who've been exactly where you've been and who've gotten to the other side and can give you some really good wisdom, or a therapist, lots of therapists online. So you need some help processing through these old feelings and these old emotions, because you aren't capable of doing it very well on your own, and you'll probably end up re-traumatized. Because what happens when you're triggered is you go back to the ages that you were triggered, when you were helpless, and it puts you back in that same loop. So many times what I do is, when I'm in a rational state of mind, I cultivate relationships with people that I can trust: therapists, chiropractors, close friends, healers, whatever. I actively look for someone that I can trust. And then when I get triggered, I pause, I get out of the situation, and I get in touch with them. Whether I write them a long email, whether I send them a voicemail, whatever it may be, so that I can start to move and process this information. Now, you may be worried that these feelings or memories will be stuck for forever, but they won't. In actuality, when you pause and let yourself be present with the emotion, and let yourself get the love and the support and the care that you've always needed, you're able to heal. It's almost as if you, as an adult, gets to go back and revisit this small version of you and say, you know what, I know this was scary. I know this was hard, but I'm here for you. I'm not going to let you down, and I'm never going to leave you. You start giving yourself the things that you needed that you never got. You start getting the care and the support that helps you stay as level and balanced as possible, that helps you heal. So when you reach out to people when you're triggered, people that you can trust, you can actually start to process through and release that. And what happens is you get triggered less and less and less and less. The small things you're able to start polishing away and cleaning away, and it doesn't bother you so much anymore. And then you keep going deeper and loving yourself at a deeper level, at a younger level, at a more complete level. As I said, it's really hard to do this by yourself, and no one really can. But if you pause and you reach out to your community, to your network, so that you can feel it and release it and process it through, you will come out of your amygdala, out of your fight or flight, and get back into your rational mind. Sometimes reaching out to someone just looks like writing a letter that you never send. But it's the process of moving it through you, of moving it through your body, because it's your body that's reacting, right? Which means that your body needs to feel it. We shut off our body when we were originally traumatized, but it still has that trauma floating around. It still has it, on edge, making you feel anxious and upset. So when you trigger, pause, reach out, start processing through, and have love and compassion for yourself. Because the only person who can love you the best is you. Those thoughts that you're thinking, they don't do you any good. All that anger and hurt and judgmentalism towards yourself. And even if you have it towards somebody else, you're the one still thinking it. You're the one still being tormented by it. And I know it's hard to stop because your brain obsesses. It goes around and around and around and around and around over how hurt and angry you are. Maybe you can't get past 3 or 4 words even in your head. That's your cue that you need to go outside and connect. You need to connect with another human. You need to connect with nature. You need to connect with yourself. And you need to give yourself a little bit of space and time to process through. Now, I know that's not always possible because everybody needs you and everybody's right there. And, love me, need me, give me, do me, whatever. There's all this pressure on you. And if somebody isn't wanting something from you, then you're walking on eggshells trying to make sure you don't make things worse. I totally get that. The pauses can start, the nurturing can start with 30 seconds, with you giving yourself permission to go to the bathroom and take some deep breaths. Even if it doesn't work, even if it doesn't dial you down enough, it's the giving of the permission. Give yourself permission that when you're triggered, you get to protect yourself. You get to love yourself. And even if it's in the smallest of ways, it starts to heal. Because your body doesn't trust you right now. It doesn't trust that you'll protect it. That's why it reacts. That's why it goes into fight or flight. Because it thinks that there's nothing you can do and that it's helpless. And when you start showing your nervous system, when you start showing your subconscious and your unconscious that you love it and you respect it, and you're going to give it space and time, and you're going to protect it as best you can. When you start to do that, things calm down because you don't feel so helpless or on edge. And this is especially true for women who are successful, for women who are in important positions of leadership, because we all have those demons. We all have those cracks or crevices or deep, deep wounds that get triggered out of nowhere. And we're told to push through. We're told to suck it up. We're told that it doesn't matter. We're told that we're too sensitive. We're told all those things. And what does it do? It just makes things worse. So you have to be the first line of defense, which is you telling yourself and showing yourself that when you're triggered, you'll take care of it. You'll help it out. Okay? So if you know any women who are in toxic or narcissistic relationships or think they are, share these videos with them. If you're in a toxic or narcissistic relationship, reach out. We've got a strategy call where we can figure out how to get the help and support that you need, how to help you move forward and out of this place of wasting your life, because you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't love and respect themselves, And so, of course, they're incapable of loving and respecting you. Okay? So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Good luck. I know it can be hard, but remember, pause and love yourself. And when you start to do that, you start to move in the right direction. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.